1340 96.5 KVGC. Good morning, everyone. With me today, the one and only Douglas Viviani of Everything Old is New Again. Douglas, good morning.
Thankfully, there's only one. Thankfully.
Yeah. Good thing you didn't bring that other character along with you. Hey, the other day I was listening to the show, and I think I heard Barbecue Guy and Fondue Guy doing some commercials on.
Yes, they were retained to do a commercial for mustard. How do you like that? Buyer's mustard.
Well, at first I thought it was a PSA or something, and then I realized, oh no, they're selling mustard. Now, where can I get that mustard here on the West Coast?
Online. They have a great online site. It's bowersmustard.com. It's believe it or not, boy, there's a story to that. Maybe I better say that for another day. But the owner of the company and her sister I know since I was in high school, and I dated the sister for a while.
And they still talk to you?
But yeah, I thought I was going to. That's the one that got away. I thought I was going to end up with that one, but instead I got a commercial out of it. So okay, don't ever close. The thing is, I hadn't talked to her for a while, and then she heard about the show, blah blah, and so don't ever close those bridges or burn those bridges.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean someone else besides Peter Weller listens to the show?
How about that? Yeah, they heard it in Lowell, Massachusetts, right outside of Boston.
Wow,
and they gave me a call. They said, "You're on the radio. What's going on?" Blah blah, and all the, it's crazy.
Well, that lawyer thing didn't work out, and it just, and Cohen's living on my couch, and so we just decided that we'd just do a show together. So
that's all. Exactly.
Is that how it works? Hey, speaking of shows, I know I'm the king of the complainers on pay TV, and we were talking about the new Captain Picard series,
right,
which will be on pay for TV on CBS and so forth. Well, I've discovered this new channel on my TV called Netflix. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of it. In fact, Stranger Things is coming out season 3 next week.
Well, they have brought back a show that I was almost distraught over that had been canceled. Not Lucifer. Lucifer's, they brought Lucifer back, and that's good. But Designated Survivor.
Oh, that's on Netflix now?
Yes.
With Kiefer Sutherland?
Yes.
Holy smokes!
And they've renewed it for another season as well. And it starts right where the other one left off, and it's like, wow. Whoa.
Yeah, the beauty of that is they don't need as many viewers as national TV needs. I think that's tremendous. I mean, that's a great little avenue. But now you're paying for Netflix. You're going to pay for Hulu, and you're going to pay for Amazon Prime.
No, Hulu's free, isn't it? Or does it just come on my TV?
No, I've got to pay for Hulu. I know that.
It comes on my. Well, see, I'm the cheapskate. I get the commercials with Hulu, but
okay.
But Amazon Prime came on my TV. You know what? I'll bet you. I probably get a little ding on my credit card every month, and I don't even pay attention to it.
What kills me is I have DirecTV, and I want to watch a movie with the kids. Oh, we have 50,000 movies. Yeah, I would say at least, if not more, half of them, you go on and they go, you got to buy that for $14.99. Oh, yeah, you can rent that for $2.99. I'd rather, if I'm going to buy it, I'd rather have a DVD so I don't have to keep on buying it and whatever. And second thing is, what happened to my subscription? I'm paying for DirecTV, and now I have to pay for movies on top of it. And then they say, oh, you want it for free? Subscribe to HBO or Stars or whatever, and a portion of those movies you get now for free, but you're paying for Stars every month. So no matter what you do, you never stop paying for anything that you're watching these days. It's crazy.
And if you go through those movies, like you say, I would say more than half are just trash.
Yep.
I don't even believe they're real movies. I just think they have pictures up there because I know no one's going to, click on it except for me in the middle of the afternoon who's curious about the three-headed beachcombing woman. You know what I'm saying?
But it's also organized horribly.
Yeah.
Because unless you're in like one of the favorites or most recently aired, if you don't have in your mind what movie you want to watch, but you want to watch a science fiction movie, I don't even know if they have it by category. I've tried that. But let's say you could go to science fiction as a category. All right, there's 2,000 movies. You got to start at A and keep clicking down to get to W.
My wife and kids know how to. They can find anything. And
if they know what they're watching. But if you don't know what you want to watch, you got to scroll through and see what do they have.
And it really makes me feel like some old. Honest to God, when I get on that thing and I see them go bing, ding, 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 and I'm a pretty technically savvy guy, okay, have been for many years, been with the computer age since the beginning, okay. I feel like old grandpa over there, you know, Sonny, help me, I don't, my VCR is still blinking at me, I can't say, no, and they're just, and I start doing it and erase half of everything or change it to something else. But here's another show that I discovered the other day, and it picked up some heat from the Catholic Church, but it's a good show. David Tennant and Michael Sheen are the stars of it. It's called Good Omens. Have you heard about that?
No, not.
Yeah, and it's David Tennant is an evil demon. Michael Sheen is a good demon.
I have seen the ads for this. Yes.
Yeah, they're trying to prevent the end of the world because they screwed up the delivery of the Antichrist at the very. It's pretty funny. I'm in.
It's supposed to be a comedy, I guess.
I think so because it's like a horror humor fantasy,
comedy.
kind of thing.
All right, give that one a shot. There's a new one that I'm looking forward to. I don't know if anyone's going to do this or not, but there's a host that is 86 years old of this show called Unexplained with an X. And it basically is a show like In Search Of, if you remember that,
sure.
with Nimoy. And it would be searching for the pyramids and what's that all about, and how about finding metal in the middle of the desert. How did that happen? And or a hammer in the ancient times, but it has modern technology on it. Well, all this kind of unexplained phenomenon. Drum roll, William Shattner is now hosting that coming out. All right, and we are a friend of our show. You'll know this gentleman, who is the writer, producer, creator of Ancient Aliens, Curse of Oak Island, The New Lost in Space. Kevin Burns is going to be on our show to talk about that. And I will be pressing him to try to get William Shatner on the show. Just say it. We'll see what happens.
No. Don't
jinx it, though. But
more important than getting Bill Shatner on the show. Notice how I called him Bill, because all his friends call him Bill.
Well, everybody in the industry used to call him Bill.
Yeah. Press him hard. In fact, make Cohen hold on to his legs while you kind of slap him about. What is on Oak Island? That's what we want to press him about, not this new show.
I will, at the very least, I'll be able to say to him, is it worthwhile to watch another season, and why? And of course he's going to say, yes, it's worthwhile, but he's going to have to justify it, right?
Yes.
He's going to say, we found a lot of tidbits here and there, but when you pile everything together, we're still in the dark 8 seasons later here. What's up?
Wow. So can I send you, send you some questions?
Yes, that's a great idea. Anyone that's interested in any of those shows that would like a question asked, go to or send me an email at oldnewagain@aol.com. I've been told to say that twice. So oldnewagain@aol.com.
No, stop. Oldnewagain.com, because you put an is in there.
Oldnewagain@aol.com. Yeah, there's no is, correct.
Is there still AOL?
There still is. I don't know why. I just had to transfer everything to Gmail and all that and all the contact. I'm just so lazy I can't get to doing it.
All right. So
but I really have to, because I'm paying. That's another thing you're paying for.
So oldnewagain@aol.com if you've got a question about the new Lost in Space series, Oak Island, Ancient Aliens, and the new William Shatner.
Unexplained. He's also doing that other one, which I've ignored, but I guess I'm going to have to start watching, because it's the Civil War treasure.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I know.
No. JD really got involved in the World War II gold one.
That was a great one.
Yeah, he really has that come to an end.
Yeah, it was like 8 episodes, and they found treasure, and that was it.
They did.
They went in. No, I should say they found this huge tunnel.
Oh, okay.
Right. Maybe there is another season, but it was short. I have to follow up on that. How the heck that ended? But it was very short, and I was waiting for a big payoff. But that went fast. They gathered all kinds of evidence in the jungle and really found a way into this whole tunneled area. Remember this?
Yeah.
And what the heck? It's a good question. How I could swear it ended, but I'll have to take a look at that and see. But anyway, so that's of interest. And then last week I left you off with we made a cryptic reference to Yesterday, the movie, and how my 7-year-old and I were going to see it. This guy has been, I don't know what got into Leo recently, but he's been listening to the Beatles like crazy on his own. This is something he found on his own. He goes on Siri. He says, "Siri, play me a Beatles song," and they start playing a Beatles song for the kid, and he's totally into it.
Will Siri
I don't know
do
what
that?
happened.
Will Siri do that?
Yeah.
Hold on a second here. Siri, play a Beatles song.
In My Life, I bet you it plays.
She's searching.
Sorry.
Okay.
I couldn't find Beatles in your music.
So I don't have Beatles in my music. So do you have Beatles in your music?
I don't. Maybe I've searched before and had it on YouTube, and maybe there's a link to because he comes up and a number of YouTube's links come up, and it automatically starts playing. But
Really?
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but who? Yeah. Oh, here's one. Siri, find Beatle music. See what she does on that.
Yeah.
There, now pops up a bunch of stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
now it shows up again. You know a good song that doesn't get a lot of credit is Chris Christopherson's version of Sunday Morning Coming Down.
Really?
Have you ever heard that?
I've not heard that.
Listen to it. He actually wrote that song. Johnny Cash made it famous, but Chris Christopherson.
Well, this whole thing, everybody with The Star is Born, how wonderful Bradley Cooper is, and Lady Gaga. I almost was disowned at a family event like a month ago. Everyone's talking about this movie, how great it was. I go, have you seen any of the other ones before this? No. Do you know that Chris Christopherson in Star Streisand was in one? I kind of remember that. Who was Chris Christopherson? Christopherson is more well-known and appreciated in his day as a musician than Bradley Cooper, who's Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, Bradley Cooper, because he's a good-looking guy, it can do no wrong. Drives me nuts.
You know why I'm laughing is when you made that voice. That's exactly what I imagine when you go to your in-laws or your families for a holiday party that they sound like, and you made that. I should not. We should.
They all sound like that. None of them listen to a word I say. They get upset with me when I do stuff like that. They have the nerve to tell me that there's no better a Western actor or movie actor than Clint Eastwood. I bring up John Wayne. They go, okay.
Who?
Yeah. Who? I got my. Let's see. I have nieces that are now late teens. They have no idea of anything that I'm saying in terms of any shows, and I relate it to the new stuff, but they won't go back, and they just will refuse to, you know what it is, they refuse to give their uncle any due, is what it is.
So, Douglas, do they call you Doug, Dougie, Douglas?
Uncle Douglas.
Uncle Douglas.
How do you like that?
So you've always been, even with your family, you're like, when you talk to your brother, he calls you, well, he probably calls you something else, but does he call you Douglas? Or?
My parents call me Douglas. Sister calls me Douglas. My brother has a nickname. We went on a trip a long time ago. We were stuck on a plane from New York to Hawaii, and behind us was a guy named Morty Milstein, and he was a real pain in the neck, and he introduced everybody that walked by. Hi, I'm Morty Milstein. I'm on the way to Hawaii. Give me any hint about Hawaii? I'm going to Honolulu. A place where I should go. And he got everybody's ear, including the attendants, of course, who had to listen to him, and us who were one seat in front of him. So from that trip on, which was like 1989, we've called each other Morty. Go figure.
Now, back to yesterday, I saw the star of the movie and the female lead of the movie, who is his manager and kind of wants to be his love interest, but is
correct.
Not. Okay. She was great, but he was kind of aloof and kind of, I don't know if he was just nervous but he came off to me as kind of an ass.
Yeah, little pompous is too strong a word, but that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I think he's just extremely nervous. I don't know. I recognize him, but I don't know what else he's been in.
But man, what a voice! Ooh.
Yeah, he sings beautifully. Although he changes the intonations of songs like Yesterday, he sort of makes it his own, which I guess is okay. The movie is real good, real interesting, does have a smidge of a sci-fi tune to it, if you will, where, if you don't know, it's like this guy wakes up and there are absolutely no Beatles music anywhere. It never was published. Never existed. So he goes ahead and says, well, the world needs the Beatles music, and he presents the Beatles music, becomes a huge star. But it's not just about that. It's about a love story. It's also about what does the premise of the movie. I don't think they carry this out too well, but this is what they wanted to do, is what would the world look like without Beatles music, and then all of a sudden when it's flush with Beatles music, does the world change in any way?
Oh, good point. Good.
Yeah. So the thing is, the movie starts and like the music scene is exactly as it is today.
Yeah.
And that's the mistake they made. I think it was too hard for them to do this, but music would not be the same without the Beatles.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Right. So if you woke up and the Beatles did not exist, you would be hearing you might be hearing Sinatra type music. I don't know, but I think it's probably too hard for them to think about, I guess, in this kind of a genre.
The music scene would not be where we are today, without Michael Jackson.
Correct.
Okay, Michael.
There are certain figures that are, and Elvis. There are certain figures that are seminal that if they didn't exist, there'd be a void, and I really think we'd have something different going on.
And I'm going to throw a name out there, and you're going to go, okay, and then it's going to hit you in a couple of days. You're going to go, I see. Quincy Jones. I'll just leave it at that. Quincy Jones.
Well, he started out with Sinatra and then went all the way through to
as a producer.
The Other World.
Just think of everything that he's produced, that he's had a hand in.
Yeah.
That people don't even know. So, hey, speaking of having a hand in, what's up with today's show?
Well, we've got a little. We talked about this a little bit in the past, but it's strong. It's going strong. We've got to turn our attention to the Monsterverse. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about when I say Monsterverse?
No.
Godzilla, King Kong, all the huge monsters. Now, we had Godzilla, King of Monsters, came out. It made $150 million in America, and that was pretty good. But now in China, it's making huge numbers. They just re-upped it. It's going to be in the Chinese movie theaters, which is 1 billion people to watch it, till July 31. So it's made enough money where they are now going to be doing Godzilla versus King Kong in 2 years. And they did Skull Island, and they've done redid Godzilla previously. So it's a fascination. Now, we don't necessarily take a look at the movies too much. We take a look at why are we interested in this. And do you remember as a kid?
Well, yeah, but see, I don't understand this because to me, King Kong and Godzilla should be working on the same team.
That's true. But they're animals.
But why would you pit them against each other?
All animals, don't necessarily get along, and whoever wants to be king of wherever, they want to be king. They don't care, right?
Okay.
But what makes us interested in this? I remember as a kid watching Did you have Creature Features in Chilla Theater by you?
Yeah, we had Bob. It was Creature Features, and it was on like at 11:30 or midnight on Saturday night. Bob Wilkins was the one that did it.
The host.
And then we had one. If you could get it every once in a while out of Reno, but I think it was almost a syndicate. It was Zombo, and it was this guy that was like a zombie, and had like a white and black striped thing and a white face and Zombo.
We all had that. It's all regional, but we had it also on Saturday afternoons. So a November Saturday afternoon when it's kind of cranky outside, you go call for your buddy, and you'd crack out the Lay's potato chips and the the cherry Coke, and you would be watching a double feature of these monster movies, giant grasshoppers and them and whatever else. So we're going to try to go back and examine, are we interested in these big monster movies because of the memories, or do they have any quality to them? We'll see.
Well, that's tonight, 6 o'clock. Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, Douglas Viviani and David Cohen, Everything Old is New Again, the show that each week examines our pop culture, where it came from and why it's still popular, trying to make radio fun and definitely doing a great job at it. Douglas, thank you.
My pleasure. Enjoy. We'll see you next week.